Hello, hello, good morning, everybody. It is wonderful to see some people in class today. I've recorded, I think, 2 of these so far, just solo me, and I'm very glad that some people saw it and showed up. Maybe you saw a Facebook post, maybe you got a text. I'm not sure how we're advertising this, but I am glad that you are here. Today, we are going to be going into day 3 of Command Classroom. Now, Command Classroom, for those of you who don't know, it builds off of each consecutive day. So if you're here today, it's going to be really beneficial for you to also show up on Monday and then next Friday and then Monday again. And if you have missed the previous 2 days or you haven't watched them yet, you can find them on the KW Training Facebook. Just search up KW Synergy Trainings and you'll be able to find it. It's a group that we can invite you to and you can get involved with, or you can ask to join and we can let you in. You can find them on YouTube at 1018 Tech Trainer Tips. That's where I post all of them on YouTube. And then you can also find all of these in the shared office drive now. So on Google Drive, if you go to shared with me, you can then find them under shared office drive and then training videos. You'll be able to find them all there. So yeah, it would be beneficial for those of you who haven't seen the previous 2 to catch up on them because like I said, we start at the foundation of day 1 and we build off of that. And today we are getting into SmartPlans. So SmartPlans, as those of you who have had a class with me or a training with me before will know, are automated systems that we can set up where they will send out one at a time automatically. All we have to do is press go. They will send out tasks, they will send out emails, they will send out text messages for us to our clients. SmartPlans is like our #1 tool in our command tool belt for staying top of mind because it's all automated. Modern day problems, we don't have enough time for anything, right? Just like period. What SmartPlans does is it takes a lot of that out of it. All we have to do is figure out how we want it to go once, and then we can just set people to it and forget it, right? So we're going to dive into SmartPlans. We're going to look at what they look like. I'm going to show you guys where to find some that are pre-made. I'm also going to go ahead and show you guys an integration. Now, we talked about integrations and apps you can plug into Command on day 1. I'm going to show you guys a specific integration called Twilio that is pretty much required for most SmartPlans if you want to send out those automated text messages. And we're also going to show you how to create them and stuff like that and how to assign people to them. So it's going to be good. I'm going to go ahead and get a screen share going here just as soon as I log into my command. If you guys do at any point have a question, feel free to just go ahead and shout out. Just let me know what you're curious about, and we can go ahead and get that answered. I want everybody to be kind of moving through at the same pace. I'm not worried about getting this class done in 30 minutes an hour. I'm worried about making sure that you guys understand the concept and we can move forward onto day 4, understanding all the things we learned here and on day 3. So if there are any questions or anything like that, please let us know. All right, so here we are on the front page of Command. Yes, yes, excellent. So from here, we can find our way to SmartPlans by going down to the 4th icon on our little taskbar over there on the left. If you also don't know this about Command already, really cool little fun fact, especially if you're in a training like this and you're losing track of where the guy is or what we're talking about, you can select the red KW square up there in the top left, and the names of all of the different icons will pop out. These are all what we call applets. Each applet is something we work in a training. Today, we're going to be working in SmartPlans, so we can go ahead and see that SmartPlans is the 3rd applet right there, right? So my computer decides it wants to get into SmartPlans. Apparently, we're being slow today. All right. So when you jump into SmartPlans for the first time, what you're going to see is what's called your SmartPlans. It's your list of what you have downloaded or what you've created that you can then assign people to, or you can edit further. You can make duplicates from all of these. So let's say I wanted to put somebody on the My Monthly Neighborhood Nurture, right? First things first, I want to know what that does. And the way I would do that is I can go ahead and I can click on the little pen over here and the edit button. We're going to go into that and it's going to show us what this is. Now, this smart plan is fairly simple. It's fairly simple, but it's deceptively awesome because all it is it sends an email, and then this one's the monthly neighborhood nurture. There's also a bi-weekly one that goes every 2 weeks instead of a month. But this one's going to send an email, wait 30 days, and then repeat the plan. This smart plan, I'm also apologize if I sniffle too much, guys. I'm fighting a cold off today. But this smart plan, it is the probably #1 most used smart plan, especially when we're talking about other smart plans. Like when we build a smart plan, we can link it to other things. So we can have, and this is one I've actually made and I'll talk about later that we can find on the library. I'll ask you guys to download it. We can make a smart plan where like day 1, it sends out a text message, right? And then we'll wait for a couple of days. And then maybe like day 7, a week later, it'll send out an email, right? And then we'll wait a little while, maybe only like 3 days that time. And then what we can do is on day 10, we can link to monthly neighborhood nurture. The monthly neighborhood nurture, what that email looks like when it comes across is it's a market pulse of neighborhoods we've set up on a contact. So back in your contacts cards, and you'll see all of this if you go back and rewatch day 2. Your contact cards have a spot on them for you to enter in neighborhoods. Neighborhoods, that can be what your client's interested in buying, or maybe that's where they're selling from. You can make sure that they have a broad range if they're not sure where they want to move to. Or you can really, really precise kind of feed them where would be best for them to move into, right? So neighborhood nurture takes those neighborhoods and every month or 2 weeks, depending on which smart plan you use, we'll send them, I'm gonna put in the monthly neighborhood nurture here. We will send them this market pulse and it'll be like, here's neighborhood 1. And it'll say average price is this much. Average days on market is this much. Average houses sold in the last 6 months or something like that, I think is the other statistic, this much, right? And that's one neighborhood. And then it'll come down here, the next neighborhood you have, and it'll give them all the same factors, right? And so now you've given your client value because you're giving them a tool and not just leaving them in the dark, right? Nobody likes to be left in the dark, especially about a process as important as buying a home. And so the monthly neighborhood nurture brings people some knowledge and it's of great value. So that's why it's the #1 tool that we link to and the #1 tool that I recommend everybody get this smart plan. So we can see here, send email, repeat plan. We can't edit this one because it is a special KW made it smart plan. But we're gonna right now we're gonna go and we're gonna look at some other ones that we can find in the library. So let's save this and we'll back out of it. And again, my computer is being slow. While we do that, I know I've been talking fast already. Do you guys have any questions for me? Either in the chat or just shout out. All right, not seeing anything, not hearing anything. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna move on. All right, so coming down, we're back on the SmartPlans homepage, right? Before we move on to the library, I'm gonna show you guys, I did say I'd show you how to add people to it. The easiest way to add somebody to a smart plan from the SmartPlans page is to use this little symbol right here next to your pen. If we zoom in on that, it looks like a little, it looks like our contacts applet icon, right? And it's got a little plus sign. So all you'll have to do is hit add contact to that. It's going to bring up a list of your contacts for you from your database. And you'll notice that when it pulls it up, it's got neighborhoods in there because the neighborhoods are important to the monthly neighborhood nurture smart plan, right? So for example, I've got Barry Allen, Bruce Wayne, Chandler Bing, and Clark Kent here, right? These top 4 that I have. Bruce Wayne, I have 0 neighborhoods. I haven't had that discussion with Bruce yet about where he wants to buy or where he's selling, right? So I don't know what Bruce wants. Barry Allen and Chandler Bing, they're both selling their properties in so-and-so neighborhood, so I'm going to assign them to this. And then Clark Kent, he's got 3 neighborhoods down, because he's looking at moving out of Metropolis and back home to Kansas. So he's got 3 different neighborhoods down. So I can go ahead and just select them using the checkbox and hit add to smart plan. It'll ask you when you want to start it. And you can either start all now, you can start them on a specific date, or you can stagger the start. And there's a couple of reasons they give you these 3 options. Starting all now, obviously just boom, gets it sent out. It's going to send them the email ASAP, right? Start all on a specific date. Those are really useful for if we do holidays, right? So we can have emails go out, newsletters for the holidays, Easter, Christmas, Halloween, New Year's, anything like that. We can have it start on a specific date. We pick that date as the holiday for this instance, right? Or what we can do is we can stagger start. Let's say you know that you've got a lot of contacts in your database that are husband, wife, or even just friends. You can stagger the start so that way it does not seem like we're using a robot to send out all of these emails or text messages, right? The stagger start will allow it so that way it's going to send out a blast of this many over this day, this many over this day, and it'll slowly spread it out so it doesn't look like you just auto email blasted your whole database, even though that's really what you're doing, right? It's all designed to kind of make it look like and make it feel more personable to the client, because nobody likes those Sam's Clubs or Walmart or wherever emails where it's hello, valued customer, right? We want it to be personal. We want it to know that we want our clients to know that they're not just another name in our database, that we do have a relationship with them and that we are here to help them with anything they need, right? So select start date. I'm going to start all now. It's going to make sure you've read the TCPA disclaimer. TCPA, in case any of you don't know, Telephone Consumer Protection Act. It's the National Do Not Call list. So all you have to do is, regularly run your database against the do not call list. But here's the thing as well. Any ways really that you get a contact into your database that is something like a campaign ad on command, especially a conversation at an open house or something, any kind of where you bring in information into your database like that, that counts. You're not going to get in trouble for using the TCPA. If somebody inputs their information on a form and then you get that information because you paid for the form through whether that's, a lead aggregator like Ojo or something like that, or whether it's you send out an actual campaign ad and they enter in the form that way, TCPA says that that's okay. If they gave you the information, they've consented to you contacting them back, right? So it's just a warning. We want to make sure we're being compliant with the TCPA. So long as you have consent to send them things and they're not on that national registry, you can go ahead and click I have read the TCPA disclaimer, hit confirm, and now we have Barry Allen, Chandler Bing, and Clark Kent. They're all going to get the monthly neighborhood nurture in their inboxes right now. Okay, so that's how we add people to a smart plan. But obviously we want more, right? We don't have, every client is just going to be happy with getting this market pulse monthly neighborhood nurture once a month, once every 2 weeks, right? There's more we can find. For example, we've also got this 8x8 contact engagement. By the way, that's another one I recommend. 8x8 contact engagement is the perfect way to foster a relationship with a client. We'll look at it in a little bit and I'll tell you why. But for right now, I want more stuff like that. So I'm going to up at the top, we're going to find the library and we're going to go into the library. Once we're here in the library, we can see that we have some featured smart plans. These come from not Keller Williams. These are top rated plans that other agents have made. That's what the library is. The library is really the heart of what we always say about Command, built by agents for agents. The library is filled with smart plans that an agent made, said, this works great for me, I want everybody else to have it, and sent out into the world, right? For example, if you guys have also ever had a command class with me before or a command meeting, you know who Marty Miller is, the author of that first one, the monthly call plan there, right? Marty Miller, by the way, if you don't know and you've never had a class with me, absolute command genius, knows everything. How I learned command was watching his series, the 66-Day Challenge. Definitely recommend anybody else go watch that after they're done with this training. So he's went ahead and he's published this monthly call plan. Well, what did Marty put in this smart plan? Well, we can go ahead, we can click on view steps and it'll bring up, again, it's a pretty simple smart plan. Day one, make a call at any time to somebody, right? Again, you assign them to the smart plan. These little blue lines here where it says call contact first name, contact last name, and then it'll give you the contact phone number. Those are called autofill fields. We'll get to those in a little bit when we go into creating a smart plan. But for right now, just understand that they'll just autofill whatever it says in there, basically, right? And then it'll wait 31 days and it'll repeat the plan. You'll call them again, right? Just like monthly neighborhood nurture, really simple, but maybe that's the kind of thing that you as an agent need. Maybe you're somebody like me who just constantly has things on the go, constantly has things coming up, popping up, their phone's buzzing all the time. They don't get the chance to stop and sit and foster a relationship and make a call and say, hey, by the way, I know that your daughter had her dance recital. How did that go? Right? Maybe you need something like this. Or maybe we're looking at something a little more intense, a little more, out there. Maybe you've got a bunch of clients in your database who you've helped recently, and they're not going to buy another property soon. They're not going to buy within, I think NAR says it's between 3 and 7 years is the average span for when people buy homes. Well, let's go ahead and look at this long-term nurture then. This one's made by Keller Williams, so just like the monthly neighborhood nurture, it's not very editable, but we're going to look at it. We're going to view steps. And we can see, well, look at that. What did I say? First thing that it is, day one, it's going to add you to the monthly neighborhood nurture. It's going to add your client to it, right? It's going to wait 10 days. It's going to ask you to make a call. That call more than likely is going to be, I would think, about what they thought of the monthly neighborhood nurture, right? Because you might call them and they might not have checked their emails, or that email might have gone to spam. So you might call them and go, hey, I sent you that tool, the monthly neighborhood nurture. It should have hit your inbox about 10 days ago. What did you think of that? And they're going to go, what? Hang on, let me go look at that. And they're going to look at it and they're going to see the value from it. And boom, you've just made your relationship that much better because you called them and told them, hey, I've got a tool for you. Let's look at it. It's going to wait another 10 days, create touch task, send value email to contact first name, contact last name. Now that's a task. Mostly that's a task because when we're talking about smart plans, when we do the texts and the emails and stuff like that, we'll do a text and then it'll go straight line to the next item, right? If that item is wait a few days, that's what it'll do. If that item then goes to send out an email, that's what it'll do. If that item then goes to create a task, it's going to wait until you check that box. The very important thing to know about smart plans is if you have a touch task or a call task in a smart plan, the smart plan will not progress until you go to your tasks applet on command and click that you did that. Okay. So maybe that's another reason why we have the stagger start, is because if you applied your entire database to this long-term nurture and on day 21 you had to make 700 emails sent out or you had to make 700 phone calls, not necessarily the greatest. Maybe you want to take those 700 and stagger the smart plan to spread out over 30 days. Maybe you'd want to take 300 and stagger it out over 30 days and then do another 300 the month after, and then so on until your database is caught up. Right? So, important thing to know about smart plans, tasks, halt them until you select that the thing is done. All right. After we do that touch task, we're going to send a text. And then after that, on day 31, it's going to repeat the plan. It's going to go back to adding the smart plan, which I'm pretty sure it'll just skip because you can't add them more than once. And then after that, make call, it'll repeat this plan 5 times. So you can ask it, you can tell it how many times you want to repeat. By my math, that makes it about 6 months, because this will be month 1 and then it'll repeat 5 times, so 5 more months. So this is a 6-month nurture, right? Where we're sending out, we're making contacts, we're making touches, just kind of consistently throughout, right? All right, so if I want to download this, all I have to do is hit add smart plan. It's going to say, hey, by the way, you need to download the monthly neighborhood nurture. No worries, I already have it. So we're going to hit download. If you don't have it, this little blue box where it says success, that'll just say download. And you just click that, easy peasy, it downloads it for you. But I'm going to download my long-term nurture. So there we go. Now that's been moved into my library. And we can look down here some more because there's some other stuff besides just what the top minds at Keller Williams and Keller Williams itself has made. There's also top rated, right? For example, Jess Weber, actually a decent friend of mine. She works up in, I think, St. Louis. She's made these 12 direct emails for clients, 12 direct emails for agents for co-op or recruits, because don't forget, profit share is a thing. So we can look at this. What is this? It's got 25 steps in it. It's a 361-day duration, and it consists of 12 touches. So let's view the steps here. Looks like it is just an email campaign effectively. Cool. All right. So send email. How are you? Send an email. The housing market. All of these tasks that are send email, these emails are already written. So all we'd have to do is download the plan, edit the plan, and then from there we can change it. For example, I'm not sure. Jess is probably clever enough that she didn't, but she might have put in, KW St. Louis. Well, we're not in St. Louis. We're in Abilene, Texas. So we'd have to go in there and we have to edit that out, right? So we can add the smart plan if we want. Same process, add smart plan. It's going to ask you to name it. By default, it's just going to take the smart plan name, 12 direct emails for clients, and it's going to put the word my in front of it to symbol that it's yours. That works if you want to rename it something else. If you want to rename it something a little bit more, if you want to say yearly email plan, right? We could name it something like that at that point. I'm good with just using the my, and we're going to hit download. All right. So we've downloaded a couple of smart plans now, but we're not finding anything that we want for ours, right? We have the problem of we want something that after we meet somebody at an open house, we want to send them follow-ups about what we talked with them about at their open house, about how their search is going for a property, if they were just looking at the open house, yada, yada. So what we're going to do right now with that problem in mind is we're going to use the create function. I've gone back to the main smart plans menu and we're going to hit create here in a second. First, I'm going to take a minute. Any questions, shout out, put it in the chat. I'm going to give like 30 seconds for you to get those in. Oh, man. This cold is kicking my butt, yo. I'm not sure who's fighting who. All right. Not seeing anything in the chat, not hearing anything being shouted out. Everybody looks like they're still muted as well. Sounds good. All right. Moving on then. We're going to go ahead. We're going to create a smart plan now. So hit the create button. Again, it needs you to enter a name. So we're going to use this as open space house. If only my fingers would work today. Follow up. And it's going to go ahead. We're going to hit create plan. And it's going to bring us into the builder. All right. So basic rundown of what the builder is and why it looks like this. In the middle, we'll see what the actual smart plan looks like, okay? So these are these steps here, basically, okay? So where it says day one, if this was it, we would have a send a text up there, right? And then the next thing would be to wait some, and then it would send an email, and then touch task, right? Over here on the left, we have steps that we can put in. So again, create a task, make a call, send an email, send a text, or add to a smart plan. 5 basic tools we can use, right? And then over here on the right, that's our edit window. So right now we can add in some rules like a repeat, even though it doesn't have anything in it, so it won't allow me to add a repeat right now. We can edit the name. We can select when to remove a contact from it, right? And we can also add contacts to it. But again, first we have to actually put data in here. So what are we going to do? We're going to build the smart plan so that way, and if you guys want, you can follow along. It would probably be beneficial. Just so that way we get all together, we get kind of the knowledge, the practice in of learning how to build a smart plan. So what we're going to do is we actually want to wait 2 days after the open house. Okay, 2 days, just arbitrary. You can wait 1, 3, none. You can call them right after the open house. Might sound a little desperate just saying, but you do you. We're going to go ahead. We're going to grab the make a call. We're going to drag it into here. Okay. So now on day 1, it asks us to make a call. And then over here on the right, you saw once I pulled that in, it brought up the edit page for add step, make a call, right? So task name is going to be call. For some reason it doesn't like when I hit my shift. But here's the thing is we're asking to call somebody who we just put in our contact database. And we don't want to set it as just a task that says call guy from open house. Which guy? What if we had 20 guys walk into our open house? It'd be a really good day. That's what it would be. What if we had like 3 guys walk into our open house, right? What if we had 5? What if we had, yes, 1, but we want to make sure that every time we get somebody on the smart plan, it tells us exactly who we need to call. This is where those merge tags came in, those autofill fields we saw on previous smart plans. Down here, right below that text box where I've got just the word call written, we can see the option says add merge tag. We're going to select that, and we can see here contact first name, contact last name, contact email, phone, yada, 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 birthday, home anniversary. So what do we want to do? We want to do first name. We're going to put in a space. We're going to bring up merge tags again. We're going to do last name, and then we're going to do space again, and we're going to do their phone number because we want to make a call, right? All right, so description. At this point, this is just kind of our own interior stuff to help us remember why we're making a call. Make call, the description, I'm just going to say, talk further about open house and what they are looking for. Wow, half of those letters didn't show up. That's spectacular. Half of those letters still aren't showing up. Even better. For some reason, R, F, and C on my keyboard are just they decided not to show up today. All right. Priority level. This is going to, on your tasks menu, kind of show, oh, this needs to be done right now. Or is it can get done today, or is it not that priority, or does it have no priority at all? Right? This, if you don't call them today, oh well. This I would say is probably a medium priority item because it's, pretty important to do. But again, if you don't do it straight the day that it happens, that's okay. When is the task due? Same day. We can do next day in 2 days. I'll give you guys some leeway. We'll say next day at 11:59 p.m. So basically all day. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to say that we've got to make a call the day after we add them to the smart plan, right? Or immediately once we add them to the smart plan. Now, I did say we wanted to wait a couple of days. And it looks like when we try and add the wait option, it does not show up. So all we're going to have to do, we're going to have to select add day. Oh, hang on. We're going to use add step. Maybe that's my problem. There we go. Add step. Now we can select how long we want to wait. There we go. So good note. I forgot about that part. You need to just make sure you select add step and get out of that edit window over on the right in order to be editing things in the center again. Okay, good to know. We're going to add a delay of 2 days. We're going to apply. So we're going to wait 2 days after we put them on the smart plan. And then on day 3, we're going to make a call. Okay. And we're going to talk about them. And during that talk, we're probably going to want to talk to them about what they want. And then, and here's the fun part, and I know I've shown this off a lot already, so it should sound like a broken record at this point. We're going to go ahead, we're going to hit add day. And on day 4, the day after we make that call, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the smart plan. Over here, we can see on the right, it's going to say add to, select a plan. I'm going to select my monthly neighborhood nurture, right? Or if they're looking for something more short term and they want, constant updates, we can do the bi-weekly nurture even, right? If you go and download that from the library. Day 4, time of day, anytime, we can select when this email goes out. So let's say this is, I have a friend, his name's Todd, and he always does all of his emailing, all of his sending, receiving, reading new emails. He does all of it at 5 in the morning, right after he wakes up. So Todd would probably do really good with getting this email between 4 and 8 a.m. The rest of us, maybe not so much. Maybe we want to make sure they get it sometime in the afternoon because their job's a little bit slower in the afternoon. Maybe we want to make sure they get it in the evening when they're home and they have a little second to, breathe and they're not at their job. right? So this is all entirely dependent on what you guys want to do. I'm going to set personally, I think probably early or not early morning, which is morning, 8 a.m. to 12. That's when most of my emails come in anyways. So I'll already be looking, it'll come in through for me. So after that, we're going to add the step. So now day 4, they're going to add the smart plan. We're going to add another day, and I'm going to put in send text, and we're going to send an automated text. It's going to be static. Now, static and dynamic, the only difference between those two is when you select dynamic, and again, it links back to kind of what I was saying where we want to make it personalized. When you select dynamic, because let's say you get a husband and wife who show up to their to the open house, and you set both of them up on the smart plan, and then call both of them. But then, you don't want, when this step comes through, you don't want them to be sitting in the living room together and both of their phones go ba-ding at the same time and go, hey, I just got this copy paste exact copy text from that realtor guy. Huh. I wonder if we're just on a robo mailer list. We don't want them to think that. So what dynamic can do is if we select dynamic, it'll ask you to put in a couple of options for a text. I think you can put up to 5 or 6. 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. So you can put up to 6 options for your texts, right? You can just make them a little bit different. Hey, contact first name, contact last name, right? I really love talking to you on the phone, blah, 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 blah. And then from there, just type out the rest of your text, right? And again, if you guys are somebody who wouldn't know what to write over and over again, that's slightly different. My favorite C word that I've learned in recent times, my favorite C word of all time nowadays is chat GPT. Google Chat GPT, make yourself an account, start using the tools that most agents are nowadays using to write pretty much anything from property descriptions to offers to whatever. Chat GPT, an AI writing tool, that's all you need to do is ask, hey, write me a small text less than, we have 480 characters here. So write me a text less than 480 characters, asking a client if they got my email about a valuable tool that I gave them. ChatGPT is going to spit you out something, and you're going to say, okay, keep it under 480 characters, write me something somewhat different, but keep it kind of similar. It's going to give you another one. And you can just do that for all of your dynamic texts, right? So makes it easy for us. I'm going to just put a placeholder in here because we don't have to, we're for purposes of demonstration right now. I'm not actually going to send this out to anybody. So how did you like the monthly neighborhood nurture? Question mark. You can also add emojis down here if you want. You get the emoji symbol right there. There you go. Smileys and people. I'm going to add a big old smiley face. There we go. All right. And there's merge tags. So contact first name, contact last name, email. We also have agent first name, agent last name, your team name, and your KW app link, right? So what you can do is, again, if this is the first text you're sending this person, maybe we weren't making a call, they don't have our phone number saved. Maybe if you wanted to make the text the first thing in the smart plan, it'll go ahead and you should probably put in, hey, this is agent first name, maybe agent last name if you want, from the open house that you visited on Sunday, Saturday, or this last weekend, right? I really love talking with you, blah, blah, blah. Use ChatGPT if you want, but make your spiel, make your elevator pitch that gets them hooked into a conversation with you, right? And then send them your KW app link. Biggest thing, we'll talk about it more on day 5, the consumer tab, about your app link. We're going to talk about why your app link is so important, but honestly, if you're not already, send that out to every client you have, just because it keeps everything in the KW system. And again, we'll talk about it more on day 5. So we set up what we want our text to say. And then from there, it's going to give us this warning. Your Twilio account is not connected. Whoa, what does that mean? Well, that means that Twilio is the service that we use, that we've partnered with. It's technically a third-party app, but we've integrated it into Command and it is our auto text sending service. Okay, so you need to go and you need to make an account. Back on day one, we went over how to integrate things into command, so you can go and watch that. All you have to do is follow through on Twilio. I think I actually brought up Twilio on day one this time around. I'm not certain, but I'll go over it again just to be safe. So when you go to the marketplace, you're going to find Twilio. You're going to go ahead and you're going to fill out all your contact information and your payment information, and then you're going to purchase it, right? Once you purchase it, back in your settings of command, where you just click on settings under your name and it brings you to the page where you've got DocuSign and all your other things connected. Once you're in there, scroll all the way to the bottom and you'll have to, it's either register or authorize account, right? From there, you have to pick a phone number, a 325 number. We have to do this because your number is already taken. You can't use your number already. It's programmed to your phone. But the nice thing about Twilio is that all we're using that number for is like to charge credits, texts to your phone or to your Twilio account, where it's going to send the texts out from and where texts are going to come back to if the people reply to you is not going to be some random 325 number. If you have your phone number plugged into all of your profiles, and again, we talked about profiles on day one, if you plugged it into all of your profiles, it'll come from your number, your personal phone number. And when they respond, it'll go back to your personal phone number. So you can just keep on your conversations in here. And who knows, maybe all of a sudden you're going to get a text message back from somebody that you didn't even know wanted to have a conversation with you because you put them on a smart plan that sent them a text and now you're in a conversation, right? So that's how you do Twilio. Again, I do believe I went over it more on day one, so you can go back and watch that, but definitely get that set up. The prices aren't too bad when we're talking about it. And we can see here that like I said, we have 480 characters. I believe, yeah. So 480 characters is 3 credits, okay? If you use 160 characters, that's 1 credit, 320, that's 2, and then the full 480, that's 3 credits, okay? So the credits change depending on how much you use. When you go to buy Twilio, you can get, I believe the price I recommend, especially for people who are just starting it out, who aren't really like excelling, is the plan that it's about $11.59, I want to say, for 1,500 credits. So, you know, that's 500 full-length text messages, right? That's a lot of text messages, or maybe it's not enough. There are plans that go higher than that. There's plans that go lower than that. That's just the one I always recommend because for price range for credit, it's about right there in the sweet spot. So get your Twilio set up before you do anything. It's raining. I don't even know if you guys can hear me or understand me now. But we're going to just keep trucking on. We're almost done anyways. So we can fill out the rest of the smart plan as we want. Put whatever we want in there, sending texts, sending emails. Once we're done with all of that, we can save the plan. Plan saved. We can exit out. And then we can go ahead and we can start adding contacts to the plan right away, right? I just met Joey and Monica at an open house. They were just friends looking for an apartment. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to add them to the smart plan. When do I want it to start? I want it to start now. I've read the TCPA disclaimer, confirm, and we're good. So that's smart plans. How are we doing for time? I've gone about 15 minutes longer than my other videos. That's okay. All right. So finishing up. Homework. It happens every time we do a command classroom. Your homework for today, class, is going to be, let me go ahead and kill my screen share so y'all can see the board. Hello. So your homework is going to be, I want 7 contacts on any smart plan, the monthly neighborhood nurture, the 8x8 engagement, the 6-month long-term nurture, anything. 7 contacts on a smart plan. Yeah, and it could be self-built, bonus points if it's self-built, or you can take it from the library. So that's your homework. Pretty easy because we should have more than 7 contacts with things like our neighborhoods and phone numbers and all that stuff. Is getting way too loud, so I'm going to wrap it up really quickly. All right. That's all for Command Classroom. Hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you Monday at 9:30 for the same time. We'll talk to you later. Hopefully the roof stays on this office. We'll talk to you guys later.